Welcome to a News 13 special coronavirus virtual town hall meeting. I'm George Roberts.
And I'm Marie Johns. This universal health crisis is taking its toll on our normal lives, and the effects are going to be far-reaching.
Now, today we focus on the survival of our local businesses. Can they survive? How will they survive?
We've assembled a panel of experts from our area. They're joining us from all over the News 13 coverage area. Welcome to Tarah Probst, the mayor of Stroudsburg, Marlyn Kissner, representing the Carbon County Chamber of Commerce,
the mayor of Milford, Strub, along with Brian Wilken from the Greater Honesdale Partnership.
And rounding out our today's panel are Tony Iannelli, the president and CEO of the Greater Lehigh Valley Chamber of Commerce, and Lehigh County executive Phillips Armstrong.
We're going to start with Tarah Probst in Stroudsburg. And Tarah, let's give everybody an idea of what it's like in downtown Stroudsburg. What does it look like with the businesses there?
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you for hosting this town hall. I think it's really important for the people that are staying at home and doing what they're supposed to be doing to know what's going on in the area around them. Right now, Stroudsburg is pretty much a ghost town. Some of the restaurants are open for takeout only, curbside delivery. But just like every other small town in the United States, I'm sure, we're hurting. And like I did the article in the paper last week that, we're all scared. We're all scared of the unknown because, we have no control over what is happening. On the bright side of things is that we are resilient. Monroe County is resilient. And all of the small business owners that I am in touch with know that they're, it's a struggling time, but if they get the help they deserve, from the government, then hopefully they will reopen, and all of the residents, I think, are really going to appreciate their downtowns more than ever before and support locally more than ever before. And that's what I'm really hoping on. This is a travesty, but we'll get through it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Taking that same question and posing it to Marlyn. Carbon County has a lot of different towns and Main Street districts. So tell us what that's looking like right now.
Well, actually, again, we are definitely pulling together as a county. A lot of our small towns are supporting one another. We do have a lot of businesses that are not really open, but a lot of our restaurants are. We're really pushing the takeout, the curbside. That's going really well. We're putting a lot of those resources on our chamber websites. And again, just pulling together. We are connecting a lot of the PPE supplies that really need to go to our hospitals and our first responders. We have great partners that are also making sure that we have that kind of supply that's going to our hospitals and our local responders. So again, I think the chamber has amazing resources. Everything's on our website. We're holding a lot of webinars. We're giving a lot of information. We're pushing it out through public policy. With our partnership with the Lehigh Valley Chamber as well as the Pocono Mountain Visitors Bureau.
So Phil, Lehigh County, I know you've been seeing what's going on all over the county. Give us an overview of what that looks like.
Well, one of the things I think other people have said is the fantastic part of this, and you have to look at the bright side of everything, is the cooperation that we're getting from all of the different agencies involved here. Let's say up in the northern tier, especially, Mark Ramis, our commissioner up there, a business will call him, he will call us, Frank Kane, our Department of Economic Development, then goes through the process of filling out these small business loan applications. I think one of the big things we can do to help businesses here is to help them through these processes. These, everything that gets rolled out in a quick manner does take more help than you think. Some of these applications are quite elaborate. So we're here at the county to try to offer help these people go with the Lehigh Valley Economic Development Corporation, working with the chamber. I think even with our local elected officials and our state officials, and even our federal officials, we're trying to cooperate. And I think that's really, we're all here to help these businesses. We don't want to lose them. Our economy was doing so well up to this point. And I think it's important to talk about how important it is to stay at home. Stay at home. The more you stay at home, the quicker we get out of this, and the quicker we can go back and celebrate Tony Iannelli's birthday at our local restaurant. We all want to get back out again, but to do that, we have to stay home first.
All right. You talk about saving small businesses, and things have been going so well. Why don't we go to Tony Iannelli, the president, CEO of the Greater Lehigh Valley Chamber of Commerce. And Tony, there's a survey from MarketWatch, I guess it was earlier this week, that said 43% of small businesses say they'll be forced to close permanently if they don't get help soon. What do you think of that survey? I mean, if 43% of small businesses close, that'd be pretty devastating to the region.
Sure, it would be devastating. And look, we have some relief on the way. And this is a fine balance, George and Marie. And this balance is, for us, as Bill just said, to social distance so we can get out of this as quickly as possible. And it's a balance between our physical, if you will, our physical health and our economic health. So we're concerned about that. And one of the things we've done is the Chamber started a COVID relief fund. We had hoped, we have $150,000 that we had hoped, we put it online, and within 45 minutes, we thought we'd give $1,500 or $2,000 to 75 businesses, and turned out that we had so many applications, we now are going to give to less money, $1,500 to 100 businesses. Was successful. Those checks are going out today, George. They aren't loans. I know Marlyn Kissner has been very vocal about making sure that the northern tier of Poconos businesses are part of this, and they are. I think there's over 20-some businesses. And we're going to go with a phase two. We weren't sure, but we had a couple businesses that stepped up just last night. So we're going to do a second phase. And so that's our piece. We were fortunate enough to have some reserves, and we want to get it out. So we'll get it out. The checks will go out immediately. Next week they'll go out. Maybe I'll pay someone's rent or electric. But as Phil said, and you've all said, thank God to all our people in the public sector and the private sector working together. And we'll get through this, but it's not easy.
Wow.
How about the businesses that are trying their best to stay open, especially the restaurants, where they've just totally overnight changed the way they serve the public and had to figure out, how to make this all work? Are you hearing from anybody like that? Are these restaurants going to survive?
Sure, we are. We're hearing from that. Some are doing takeout, and well, I'll leave that for Phil. I don't want to step on you, but go ahead, respond to that.
Well, I have a personal stake in that. My son owns several small restaurants, and I think the payroll protection plan is a savior for these small businesses, especially restaurants that have less than 100 employees. However, as I talked with John Hayes from Nutropoli Bank. Again, the application process, and when the government rolls things out, the idea is great, but it doesn't work as smooth. There needs to be a little bit more direction, and now the banks are getting that. I think people are now going to get those loans, and from what I understand, if you use that money to pay your employees, you won't have to pay it back. Now, if you don't, 1% of it, 1% interest will go to paying back that loan. But hopefully that's a great idea that we can save our local pizza places, our local Italian restaurants, Irish pubs probably more for Irish, but just a little bit of a thing how we can help local businesses. Our county is set up. We do have, like I said, a department just to work with these people, and we're doing the best we can as we get these requests.
Well, Phil, as you talked about the payroll protection program, also known as the CARES Act, I understand it's a little tricky, though, especially for bars and restaurants and nightclubs. And the reason I say that is because initially it's a loan that can be converted into a grant, but I know that's going to be kind of tough for restaurants. They don't necessarily need more loans. Cash grants would be better, and they have to go through several certain steps. For example, a business's employee headcount has to be approximately the same 2 months after the loan is originated as it was before the pandemic hit. So under these guidelines, a restaurant or bar forced to close by the government mandate and furlough their employees must retain or hire back their employees at a staffing level on par with staffing levels previous to the pandemic, and do that by the end of June. Now, some of them don't even know if they're going to be able to reopen fully in June. So I think it's a tricky situation. You really have to know, understand the guidelines. And Tony, is that something that I guess the Chamber of Commerce can help these businesses through?
Well, George, I think it's a classic case where legislators, if you will, decided what they wanted to do, and they wanted to get this $2 trillion out as quickly as they could. Then, of course, it gets driven down to the process people, the SBA and the banks. And there was some communication issues, as Bill mentioned in the beginning. It's getting a little better, and the money's getting out a little more quickly. But I think that we're talking about a second package now, which I think maybe will help some of these. The first shot was to get it out quickly, and there are some gaps in that. And I think that definitely is the case. Look, at our public policy people, if you go on the Chamber's website, Lehigh Valley Chamber, if you go on our website, we have all that information. We are all available by cell. If you look on the staff, you'll find us, we'll answer. Marlyn Kissner, I talk to her 4 or 5 times a day, and every time I talk to her, she's doing something or on some call. So we want to be available. We want to help. And again, good resources, of course, are public officials, our website, and bankers in general. Contact your banker, let them walk you through this and help you as best they can. And again, the last resource maybe would be our relief fund, where we're trying to get out. We thought $300,000 would be a lot of money, and turns out it's a drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea of the numbers of small businesses that are actually doing that? Because I have to think that with all of the uncertainty, some of them are maybe saying, wow, I really want to do this. I really want to be able to take this loan and turn it into a grant, but what if I can't stay afloat? It has to be a super, super scary time for them. And do you see do you see people just diving in, or do you see people sitting back and saying, I'm just going to watch and see what happens?
Well, we've seen at the county, people are all jumping on board, that they're asking for assistance. They're coming to our economic development department. We are trying to help them as long as we can with the chamber. And I think, and George, I think you mentioned this too. Remember, some of us, I wasn't around in the Great Depression, but as a history teacher for 40 years, when the policies, the first 100 days of FDR, he rolled out one thing after another, and the criticism was some of these were boondoggles, some of these were inefficient, waste of money. But his answer was, people don't eat in the long run, they eat every day. And I think our answer today is, with some of these programs, we need to get it out into the hands of the small business. We need to get out to get these people going again, to get our economy going again. And yes, they're not going to be perfect. Yes, we're going to have to work through problems. But the idea of, you want to sing, happy days are here again, I think that song should come back again. We need to start being optimistic. And that's what I think we have to do in this whole idea of these programs.
Right. So as we are seeing then, or as you're telling us, and as time goes on here, I guess, Phil, we're looking at, hopefully, the businesses slowly getting back online once they're allowed to reopen. We don't know when that's going to be for a lot of these non-essential businesses. But even for the restaurants with just takeout, they can't survive forever on just the takeout either. So something is going to have to break here soon, right?
Well, I think what you're going to find out, really, George, initially it was about our health in general, our social distancing. As we get back, now it's going to be about the economic health. And you're going to hear it's not moving quickly enough. We need to get this, our economy needs to, before we slip into recession. It's uncharted territory, as Bill said. But I will agree with Bill. People are trying the best they can to get money out as quickly as possible. It isn't flawless. I can tell you our chamber process, I said it's not going to be flawless, but it's going to be rapid, because there's no time for a large bureaucratic approach to any of this. So I have to commend communities across the public sector, the private sector. I think it's working more closely now than ever. And thank you to our mayors, our county executives. This is not easy, an easy haul, but we're going to get there. I can tell you that. We'll be back someday, hopefully soon.
That sounds good. Now, I know, like, for example, myself, I could really use a haircut. I don't know about you guys.
Forget about me over here.
But
yeah.
I would imagine some of those type of businesses are going to be flooded once they can reopen. And it's going to be a crazy time for some of those type of businesses.
Well, Tony's Barber went out of business a long time ago.
Tony, if people want more information through the Greater Lehigh Valley Chamber of Commerce, including, up here in Carbon County, the Carbon County Chamber and the Pocono Chamber, where do they go now? I have a business and I want some guidelines, some help. Can I get that through the chamber?
Yeah, I would say two things. Go on lehighvalleychamber.org, get on our website. There's all kinds of resources. You want to know what's happening legislatively and so on. Secondly, when you get to About Us, click on, you'll see the staff. We work from cell phones. We don't have landlines. So we're available literally 24/7, and nobody's going to work harder for you than Marlyn Kissner. So contact Marlyn. She'll respond, as I know she's doing. We're doing everything we can. And like I said, we're in this together, and we're going to get out of it together. But I've never seen anything like this. I thought pandemic was something that a health official thought about and would never happen. So it's uncharted territory. Thank you, George, too, to you and Marie. Thank you for being out there. This is not easy for all of us, and thanks for what you're doing for the community.
Sure. Well, Tony and Phil, you have other places to be. We're going to let you go. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more of our virtual town hall meeting.
Back to our coronavirus virtual town hall meeting. George Roberts along with Marie Johns, and we're speaking with some of the mayors in our area. We're going to go to Sean Strub in Milford now. Sean, let's talk a little bit about what's going on in Milford as far as a plan. Is there a plan to help businesses roll things out once they're all given the go-ahead?
There is a lot of planning being done. We're certainly connecting people. There are a lot of businesses that have never applied for an SBA loan, or these forms are intimidating to. So we're trying to match people up with volunteers to help them with that. And we're starting to think about what can we do to promote the businesses in Milford, when we're able to open. But quite frankly, right now, we're really in the midst of trying to get people wearing masks at the store, maintaining the social distancing, maintaining the hand washing and those things, because we sense that there's a little bit of fatigue starting to come into it now. And we're very focused on the human services. There are lots of people without jobs. There are a lot of self-employed people and people in the cash economy and people who are undocumented who are not eligible for unemployment compensation. So we have a lot of pain in the community right now that we're trying to address. As well as thinking ahead to the day when we can get reopened and get the businesses up and going again.
All right, switching over to Brian now from the Greater Honesdale Partnership. Brian, what does it look like in Honesdale? And we're talking about the mom and pops especially. How long can the mom and pops stay closed in this situation, do you think?
They're doing the best they can. And I know people are out there who are struggling. And you talk about the SBA loans and the PPP loans. Not only do I work for the Greater Honesdale Partnership, but I also work for the Honesdale National Bank. And I know out there's a lot of people who are confused and are trying to read through this process. I can tell you right now, at least for the 3 local banks in Honesdale, actually 4, the Honesdale National Bank, Wayne Bank, the Dime Bank, and FNCB, they're all working really hard to help people get through this process. We have people working all weekend long, and the people on our COVID team are really working hard right now. We have 2 teams devoted to it. And I know the other banks are doing the same thing, and everybody's working really hard to help these small businesses get the money they need for payroll. The SBA loan, you have to go right to the SBA and do it. There's a different list of qualifications there rather than just your payroll, because it can be used for some different things, and it has a 30-year payback. But the mom and pops are trying their best to come up with ways to sell a gift card online or to do some mail order stuff where they can. People are hunkered down and they want everybody to be healthy and safe first. That's the priority for the people in town. And making money secondary, but in the end, we're all going to come through this together, and we're going to work really hard, and we're going to get through this once we get the all clear from a government entity. But I just want people to know out there, as a banker, your local banks are working really, really hard to get this money out there and to get it out as fast as they can. It sounds like it's an easy process. You just fill out a couple forms and it's done. Well, it's not that easy. And our guys and gals in community banking are working really hard to help the community, because we're all in this together and we're doing the best we can. And as an organization, we have some links on our website that can help small businesses, wade through this. If you go to visit honesdalepa.com, we have links to the SBA and information about both loans that you can apply for. And that's what people are doing. And we're trying our best to help our members to get through this with information and to be as uplifting and positive as we can be as well.
Okay. Let's go to Tarah in Stroudsburg. Tarah, the businesses that you've talked to, has anybody said to you, Tarah, I really don't know if am I going to be here tomorrow? I'm not sure what to do next. What have you talked to them about? What has been said? What help can they get?
Well, sure, of course, everybody feels that way. And listen, take aside the business. These are owners of a business that also have a family to feed, not just their employees that they're responsible for. So first and foremost, every single person with a family is scared. Can they pay their mortgage? Can they pay their rent? Can I afford to buy food? Nothing's coming in right now. So that is more important than anything, because these small business owners have families. And so it's not just about business. When we say a trickle down, this is trickle down. Nobody has any money right now. So they're very afraid, and the bank, it's so convoluted to get this money. It's almost like they make it impossible, where you give up and you're not even going to apply for these loans. So I just am, look, the glass is always half full to me and to my town, and we're hanging in there the best we can, but enough is enough. They have to simplify the process. They have to get food and money, or not food, but they need to get money in the hands of the residents and their families and the business owners, and it shouldn't be this hard. We have no problem giving billions upon billions to big corporations. Why in the world don't we have it in our little towns, in the houses and in the businesses of our residents? We waste so much money. For example, we could, for the Interstate 80 project, $600 million. We don't need that project to be done right now. How about taking that $600 million and putting it back into the communities in Pennsylvania that are being affected? So I say there's so many other things we can be doing. It needs to be done, and it's not an easy process. And I would venture to guess that probably more than half of the businesses aren't even going to apply for these loans, because they're not going to qualify. It's too difficult, and to pick and choose, and by the time they get the money, they're going to be out of business. So we need to do something immediate, better, and now.
Okay, so yes, good points, and I want to get on to Marlyn, but before I think you kind of opened that up to go right on back to Brian, the whole banking thing, is what Tarah's saying true? Have you being a banker too, are you feeling any of that? People just aren't sure?
I know that we're doing the best we can to reach out to people, to answer their questions, and to process their applications as soon as possible. I know that's what we're doing at the Honesdale National Bank. And I know the other community bankers they talk to are doing the best they can to reach out to people, to get the information and to go from there. If you go to the visit honesdalepa.com website that the Greater Honesdale Partnership has, you'll be able to find out the information that you need to provide to your financial institution, so it can be processed as soon as possible. There was an incredible amount of applications that were brought in to every bank across America with this program, and to get those applications processed and to get it into the SBA and to have these loans funded, it takes a little time, and everybody's trying to do the best they can, as fast as they can, as accurately as they can, to get the money out to the consumers, to the general public and to the business people as fast as you can.
And I do want to go back and just also address, I hear you loud and clear, Tarah. We're hearing that as well, but I want to make sure people know that the chamber is a good connector. So for those businesses that are feeling like there's no hope and they're lost and they're not sure what to do, please have them contact us. Like Tony said, we're working, the staff is on. So it's really important. The patience has to happen. They rolled out this program out in 2 weeks and then 6 days, and then all of a sudden, boom, and this is a national crisis. So I just want people that are listening to know that we can talk to you and we can get you to the right people so that you can really work on getting the funding and really what we have right now.
I think my fear of this whole thing is that people are tapped out. They've been using credit cards to pay for things. They're not working. We only have certain businesses open. And the restaurants can only last so long. And my fear is that main streets are not going to be what they were once this is over. Marlyn, what do you think?
You know what? I do think we have a lot of resilience. And same thing that we're all saying is that it's a really frightening time because we've never, ever had to deal with this. And so I think the way we're taking it at the chamber is one person at a time, one business at a time, one family at a time. And for those businesses that are doing, Easter brunch, I have a restaurant up in Lake Harmony who sold out. And so they had a really good day. And so there are a lot of bright, shining examples of businesses that are maintaining. And I know they're not at where they need to be. But again, I really think we have a lot of resilience in this, in this county, but also in the nation. And we're going to see things come back. It might look different, but everybody that's on, really this, the show today, we all have passion and we're working really hard and we're going to see it come back.
George, can I say something about on top of what Marlyn said?
Sure, Tarah, go ahead.
She's exactly right. And I think what all people need right now is just to make sure that their families have food on the table and their bills are paid. Once, take the business out of it. If you can take care of that owner of that business, that's not, so they don't have to worry right now that they can get their rent paid that still is due and they can get the food on the table. Once this pandemic is over, and it will be, you will see their business thrive again. It's not even about making money right now. It's about just being able to pay your obligations. And then if the government can get everybody money in their pockets, because you're a business owner, you're also a resident somewhere. So put the money in their pockets, make sure their bills are paid. And then when this pandemic is over, you will see them thrive better than they've ever been before, because I do believe people are going to support local even more now than ever before. So when I say take care of the people first, that's also the business owners. Take care of their pockets, their families, their food, their rents, their mortgages, their utility bills, and they're not going to panic because they know in another month they can reopen them. So it's not about making a ton of money. It's just about having enough to get by until this pandemic is over.
Absolutely. Local's going to be, I think you're right, people are going to have a new look on local and stay local for a lot of things in their life. Yeah. For now, we just need to stay home and we need to support our local businesses that are open in some fashion, whether you're doing takeout or online. So thanks to all of you for being part of our panel today and taking the time to join us, sharing your views on this unprecedented health crisis.
This has been a special News 13 coronavirus virtual town hall meeting, and we'll continue bringing you the latest on our daily Pocono Valley and Night Reports only on cable.